welcome back to the second installment of the transmission install in the 74 Corvette, the 204R transmission. As we see, we got the 400 turbo 400 out, sitting on the ground on the floor here. And let me walk over here to this side of the car. We do have the transmission in the car, so we jumped ahead. Didn't think that'd really be a whole lot of interesting content on installing the transmission, being it was sort of a bear to get up in there. But we can see that we do have it installed. We got the torque converter all bolted up. We got the starter installed. Still got the exhaust to bolt back up, and we still got the rear cross member back here to put on. I had to run new transmission lines. The way I understood is that the lines were going to be in the same place as the 400. They were not, so I had to get some new lines, put some bends in them, and I'm going to run them up and tie them into my old lines. But we're going to be working on getting the cross member back in, getting the drive shaft back in. Then we're going to have to put on our TV cable, our linkage. So we're going to be working on all that, and then we're also going to be going into detail on how to set up the TV cable. So I'm going to work on getting this stuff bolted up, and yeah. Alright everybody, so we are back. It's been actually a couple days since I tried to put the drive shaft in. We're like about 4 days. This project has been pretty daunting, to say the least. But what I ran into, the issue I had was I had a 27 spline yoke, I think from a 350. It was an old yoke I had, and I had it in another vehicle. When I went to go insert it, I found out that the splines, or the little gears here, the little teeth, it was twisted. Probably too many brake checks back in the day, but it had twisted and would not fully insert into the shaft of the transmission. So I ordered another one. I got this one from Amazon, and it is a 27 spline, and I believe it is for a Corvette with a 4-speed from 68 to 70. So I got it yesterday. Went to go check with my drive shaft. I got it out of the car and noticed that the U-joints in the drive shaft is a little too long. So I didn't know they even made these, but what I found out is they do make a U-joint with 2 different widths. So I got it from Jegs. So if anyone does end up running into this problem or ends up using this yoke, like I said, it was about 88 bucks. It's pretty cheap. Other ones were like $150, $250. I know you can use one from a 350. I'm not sure if they have the end like this. It has to be pressed on. But of course, we cannot use that in our C3s because you would not be able to slide it into the transmission and then slide this into your differential because of the frame. So anyways, I did find out, like I said, that they make a U-joint that is 2 different sizes. It is a 310 to a 330. This size is 330. This size is 310. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to press this onto the drive shaft, and that should fix our issues, and we can bolt this drive shaft up. Alright, so we're going to get that pressed on real quick. Alright guys, so just like that, we got the new U-joint pressed in. Got our clips installed. You always want to make sure your clips fully seat into the grooves. But what we're going to do is I'm going to sit like that, and voila! Just like that, the slip joint bolts up. So alright, we're going to get underneath the car. We're finally going to get this thing installed. And then we're going to move on to the next part of getting this transmission in. Alright guys, we are finally installed. Drive shaft is finally in place. Alright, so let's move on to the next item on the transmission. Alright guys, so now we're going to put the speedometer in. And it's going to go right here on the driver's side. On mine, I had to get a yellow gear. I am going to show you guys later how to figure out what gear set you need for your application. But we're going to get this installed in the driver's side of the transmission here. It is going to go, if we can see it, it's going to be sort of a tight fit. I'm almost wishing I had put this in before. Fold up the cross member. But it is going to go back in here on the tail shaft. Right. Right up and, oh god, I can't see, right up into here. So anyways, we're going to get this thing installed real quick, see how much a pain in the butt this is going to be. Alright. Alright, so we got our TV cable sitting here on the fender. What you're going to do is you have an adjustment right here. This is going to slide out. Then you have this locking nut that's going to lock it in place. So I'm going to slide it out a decent amount. Go ahead and lock it in place, and then we are going to slide it down. Let's see. We'll find a good spot for it. So I think, let's see if I can work it down this way. May not be able to. May not be the best spot. Alright. There we go. Alright. So we got it going down right here. Not on much light, and I know you really probably can't see that too well. Alright, but she just dropped down. So we're going to get underneath the car. We'll see exactly how bad or how hard it is to hook this bad boy up. Don't think it's going to be too bad. Alright. So here we got our cable. We'll fish it through all this stuff. It's going to go right here. What you got, I don't know if we can see. Right here, there's a little connector. I'm try to get my cable to slide down, and it's not, so I'm going to have to jump up there. Alright, so we're going to come right back when I got everything in position. Alright, so we got the cable sitting just about where it needs to go. I'll try to get a little more light. Hopefully we can see our connector right there sticking up. So you are going to take your end, slide it up onto the connector, and then bolt it down. I'm going to do that off camera because I am not going to be able to do it and hold the camera. So let's let me get this bolted up real quick, and then we will move our way up to the top side. Alright guys, so we got the speedometer up, going into transmission. The cable's right here, so you can see it. It goes right into the tail. I highly recommend you guys do not do what I did. I installed the transmission with it out. I think I was going to have pretty easy access on putting it in, and I would just get it in after I had the transmission mounted. But as you can see right here, you got the cross member here. You have no access over on the other side where the drive shaft comes through. So yeah, I spent about 15 minutes just now trying to get that thing in. It's really, really tight. I had to flip my hand around. So yeah, just quick suggestion to everybody. Make sure you install that before you put in the transmission. So we're wrapping up everything on the bottom end. I gotta bolt up the exhaust flanges here, and then I think we're gonna be up on the top side hooking up our linkage and stuff. So all right, let me get these exhaust flanges bolted up, and then we'll be up on top of the motor. Alright guys, so we finally got everything bolted up underneath the transmission. We got the exhaust bolted up, we got the drive shaft bolted up, cross member, everything is attached. So now we are moving on to the top end of the motor and what we need to attach for the TV cable right here. I'm going to give you guys the part numbers right there. All this can be found at Jegs. This the cable, the TV cable is adjustable. I'll show you guys how to adjust that here in a second. You're also going to need this attachment for the carburetor. This works on a Holley carburetor. And there's the part number for that. Also from Jegs, which will put the linkage for the cable in the correct position. Then we also have our bracket that will use our gas pedal cable, and we'll mount the TV cable, and there is the part number for that. I think we can make that out. It's a 157310. But all these items can be found at Jegs. This is what we'll need. So we're going to get to installing the TV cable and then our brackets, and then getting this adjusted. And then all it's going to be is putting in fluids and taking her for a little road test. Alright guys, so we got our cable ran right here. I recommend just make sure you pull this a few times. You're going to feel that it's attached. You're going to feel the resistance, because I do believe it has that lever down there has a spring or something on it. You want to make sure it's attached good. Like I said, there's our adjusting nut right there. So we're going to lock that in place once we get everything adjusted and installed. Alright, we're going to be removing this bracket. So this bracket is going to take its place. Plus we also got to remove our linkage, our throttle cable, and everything else. So we're going to do that real quick and then get this stuff installed. Alright everybody, we got everything all hooked up. We got a bracket right here. We got a linkage right here. If anybody has any issues with hooking this up, we got all the instructions right here. This is very, very easy. And I'm actually really impressed with the quality of the brackets. This is going to mount over the little indents down here just like this. So it's almost foolproof. You cannot screw it up. But the brackets are really well made. They're heavy gauge metal. They're welded. So all you're going to do is, after you get this in here, we're going to slide our TV cable up to the bracket. And it's going to snap right in. And it is. One thing you want to do is you want to make sure there's an adjustment piece right here. You want to make sure that's out to the side so you can push it in, push it out for adjustments. And then, alright, she's going to be difficult. Alright, there we go. That's how it's going to go. And voila, TV cable is snapped in. So what we want to do is we're going to be connecting this piece right here to this piece right here. And then we also have an adjuster right here that's going to lock it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get underneath the vehicle, and I'm going to need some assistance getting this adjusted correctly. But yeah, that's pretty much how it is going to go. Pretty easy peasy. So, alright. Alright guys, so we are underneath the car now. I've got the transmission pan pulled off so we can see what our TV cable is going to. And what it does is it controls this plunger. So what we want is we don't want any slack initially on this lever going into this plunger. So I've already adjusted the cable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top of the car here and I'm going to reconnect the cable and then show you guys exactly what that should look like initially. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We've got our cable sitting here. We don't have it attached to the linkage to the throttle. I got that locked in. So we're going to clip that on right there. Then we're going to go back underneath the car. And we're going to look, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what you want that to look like. This is very, very crucial. So what this does is it controls your shift points. And if this is not adjusted correctly, it will burn up your, I think, 3 to 4 clutches is what they call it. Rather quickly. It's actually better that this be a little on the tight side than loose. You don't want loose. What will happen is, from what I understand, is you will shift through first, second, third really quick. And it just it messes up the clutches, from what I'm understanding, very quickly. So this is where I'm going to initially adjust it. We have no slack right here. You can see it is hitting right on the lever. So hopefully when we go to drive it, we'll get even shifts. We'll go into more detail on that when we get to that point. But I'm going to have to button the pan back up. I just want to make sure that we have no slack right there with our initial setting, which is good. We'll get the transmission pan back up. We'll get the transmission full of fluid. Everything else is bolted up down here. We are good to go. The unfortunate thing is, I'm going to walk right over here to the to the side of the car again. Unfortunately, I do not have a throttle cable. When I hooked up my old throttle cable, this new bracket set back probably about a good 1.5 inches from where my other one did. And of course, when I went to try to hook my throttle cable up to the linkage, it was too short. So one more thing I have to get for this transmission install. Unfortunately, that cable is about a week out. So I am not going to have it for about another week. So not only did I have the issues with the yoke, I had the issues with the U-joint. I now have an issue with the throttle cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here. We're going to do a video 3. On video 3, we'll put the fluid in the transmission. We'll get everything going. We'll get the throttle cable hooked up. We will do a road test. We may have to do some adjustments to this throttle cable or TV cable. Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't go through some quick shifts, because that will not be good. From what I understand, if this is not set up correctly and is set up too loose, you can burn through them clutch packs pretty quickly. So hopefully we got a little on the tight side. We can fine tune it from there. I'll also go through what you need to do to make sure you get the right speedometer gear. Like I said, mine was a yellow gear. That's based on a few things. It's based on your tire size. It's based on your rear end gearing, and it's also based on your drive gear is what they call it. That's inside the transmission. So I got all that stuff. I'll show everybody how to do that, how to come to that conclusion. On my car, I found out I had 308 gears. So that's one of the reasons. I already knew I had 308 gears, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this transmission install also, because I'd like to get 373 gears in it. But running the 400 at 70 miles an hour with a 308 gear at 3,000 RPM, if I had put a 373 gear in here, I'd been running even higher RPMs, closer to 4,000, which would have been insane. So I'll show everybody that in the next video. We'll get everything buttoned up. We'll get the transmission filled up. We'll get the fluid. We'll do a road test. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we're sitting at RPM wise in that fourth gear. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I do want to give a quick shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Also want everybody to hit that like button, share the videos, get it out there. Hit the like, leave a comment, comment on everybody's comments. So yeah, I really appreciate all the support. I hope everybody likes this series of videos, and maybe it gets some other people to try to overdrive in their car. It's really not that hard. One thing I'll say is make sure you have all of your ports lined up first. It'll make it go a little quicker. So we'll be back in about a week or so when we get that cable, and we'll button this up, guys. All right, everybody have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.